Let's begin.
Here we go! Hi, everybody!
Start the insanity.
You are not worried, are you?
Me? No.
Well, we're waiting.
Hello, welcome to Super Media All-Stars. We are a weekly podcast, and tonight we are talking about movies. I'm your host, John Harris, and tonight I'm joined by two of the All-Stars. First one being Jake Boston.
Limp Bizkit.
And Brent Harris.
You know, as a child, things are not always rosy. I think we can agree on that. Because you might have somebody that's like my father. Don't flush those toilets! I want you to leave those logs in there for me to inspect. Want to see them? I want to see what you've done.
What is that from?
Stupid Tim and Eric.
Oh, of course it is. Of course
Stupid,
it is.
but he loves it.
Yeah.
Just that one.
That was the Will Forte skit.
Sounded like Will Forte.
Yep, that was good. We got a great episode for you in store. We're going over Mission Impossible Fallout. We saw it opening weekend. We're kind of changing things up. It's Saturday night. This movie opened premiere Friday night, actually. So we'll dive into that a little bit later. But first, guys, what have you been watching?
I watched a lot of stuff because the last movie podcast was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I went and saw Equalizer 2.
This was
Denzel Washington.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, his only sequel that he's ever done. I got to use Movie Pass while I still have it. Like, it's going under real quick.
Real quick, yeah.
So it couldn't pay its bills on Thursday. So
I saw that.
Yeah, that's
Yikes.
just embarrassing. But
how was it?
better. I saw the first one and I enjoyed it. This one is good too, but the last scene, like the ending scene, is fucking amazing.
Really?
Just the action set piece. They go into a hurricane and fight.
And the hurricane.
Yeah, like it puts Hurricane Heist to shame because all of that shit looks fake as fuck. This looks really fucking cool. It's like Home Alone in a hurricane.
Gotcha.
It's really cool. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5.
Nice.
Yeah, I got more. Oh god, I got Ferdinand 2.5. I'm not gonna talk about that.
Please don't.
That was bad. Hotel Transylvania 2, a 3 out of 5. I saw a documentary on Hulu. It's called Dumb, the story of Big Brother magazine.
Okay, yeah.
This is like the origins of Jackass. Like all of the main people, like Johnny Knoxville, the guy who created Jackass, Jeff Tremaine, Wee Man, Steve-O, they all worked like at this skateboarding magazine.
Oh, yeah?
And I knew that they worked there, but I didn't know anything about the magazine. And it was just a really cool doc. I love Jackass. It's one of my guilty pleasures because it's just so fucking stupid. I'm just like, oh, okay. I gave that a 4.5 out of 5.
Nice.
It's a really solid doc.
Nice.
It's really good. And then I watched Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey.
I saw this on Instagram.
Yeah. I don't know why I decided to watch these. I'm just like, it's on Amazon Prime. This is just a good movie to just put on.
Well, because it got greenlit for a sequel, didn't it?
Yeah, the third one. I think that's what kind of put something in my brain.
Yeah.
I gave the first one a 3.5 out of 5 because it's so 80s. Like, it's just like a big time capsule for 1989.
Sure.
I don't know. It's weird. I'm interested because I gave the second one 3.5 too, just because it's so batshit crazy. Like, it shouldn't work as a sequel, but it totally does. And yeah, I want to see more. I want to see the third one, definitely for sure.
Nice.
I saw Won't You Be My Neighbor?
Mr. Rogers thing.
Yeah, the Mr. Rogers documentary.
Yeah, how was that?
Really solid. I mean, you walk in kind of knowing, like, you walk in thinking Mr. Rogers is a really good guy. At
Yeah.
least like what you see on TV. But like all the stuff he did outside of TV just kind of elevates his icon status.
Yeah.
He's a special type of breed, like just not thinking a lot about himself at all and thinking about the greater good for everybody else.
Humanitarian to the core.
Okay.
Yeah.
The way you were like phrasing that, made
He's
me
not a
think
Nazi.
It was going to
Brent,
go
no.
the complete opposite.
No. He's just a goddamn sweetheart.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. 4 out of 5. I mean, it's just good stuff. And then the last one I saw, and I don't know why I'm ending on this, but I saw Uncle Drew.
Oh, God.
Why?
God. Because I was bored and it was like a 90, 100-minute movie. It was really short. So I'm like, okay, I like the commercials. The last movie based off a Nike commercial was Space Jam, and I love the hell out of that. So I'll give Uncle Drew a shot.
No.
This movie is horrible. This movie is exactly what you think it would be. It's not funny at all. All the good jokes are in the trailer, and none of the jokes in the trailer are good. I think I laughed once at just like how big of idiot Shaq is.
Because he didn't step outside his comfort zone.
Yeah. He does this robot dance in the club, and I laughed at that. That's like the only thing I laughed at. Not a good movie at all. I gave that a 2 out of 5. Never watched this movie. It's horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty low on our scale there.
Still
Yeah.
a 2 out of 5 for never watch it again.
Yeah, there are a couple jokes, and the basketball moves were pretty good. That's what you go there for, but yeah.
Brent, what's on your end?
I've only rewatched stuff that I've seen before.
You didn't watch Westworld?
No, I've not watched that yet. I haven't had time, but I will do that on my 9-day off stint. So I'll do that then. But in the meantime, I rewatched Die Hard because it was on HBO.
Hell yes.
I'm gonna rewatch the first 3.
Have you seen them before? All of them?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
yeah, and unfortunately the 4th and 5th one too.
Yeah.
What
I haven't
does
seen the 5th one. I refuse to.
Yeah, that one's garbage.
Uh-huh.
Where his son's like completely grown up.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible.
Yep.
What else? Oh yeah, I watched Blade Runner 2049 again.
Okay.
As you should.
It's definitely better the second time.
Nice.
Ryan Gosling's I either didn't catch it the first time when I watched it that he dies at the end.
I thought it was ambiguous. Mm-hmm. It's implied that he's dying.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's definitely
Spoilers, Jesus.
Yeah.
it's been out for a year.
Still. I'm guessing everybody who's wanted to
Yeah.
see it has seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so he lays down the steps, and all he does is basically close his eyes. At the first time, I'm pretty sure I didn't catch it that he died. The second time, I'm pretty sure he just died, and then I read up on it, and they actually play the same music that is played in the first Blade Runner when Harrison Ford kills one of the
main replicant.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's one I can't remember. It's something with tears or rain or something. But
Oh,
it's,
yeah.
Yeah,
it's the same song.
It's a
actually,
famous quote, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. So
Nice. The only thing I rewatched was A Quiet Place because it came out I think a couple weeks ago, last week.
Yep.
And that was really good watching that again. And then I finally got into Rick and Morty the last 2 weeks.
Oh.
I knocked out season 1 and 2.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
So I paused at season 3 because Danielle and I are going to watch it together. Mm-hmm. But it's not laugh out loud humor, but I appreciate like the quick jokes and just the crazy turn of events that every episode goes through.
Even if you're not laughing, you're still entertained.
Exactly. It's very entertaining just because they don't hold back on anything when it comes to dimension, time travel, or anything is open.
you were laughing at some of the stuff out loud.
Like I like the Mr. Meeseeks episode a lot.
Yeah, and where they
Yeah.
they portal to like the farting butt world.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch
Of course.
bunch of butts farting.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's just they know, like it's like they know how stupid it is, so they just play it up and have fun with it.
Yeah.
The other one I really enjoyed was just them. I think it's like a ripoff of some movie. I forget what it's called. But basically, there's this virus that plays with your memories and creates all these stupid fictional characters.
Where they add it to the family.
Yeah, they keep adding to the family, and they think they had history together. And as long as it's a happy memory, the virus stays.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just pull up all these stupid characters like Abraham Hitler or something like that.
Yeah.
Hinkler.
Hinkler, that's yeah. Then after all these times of you guys hearing me talk about it, I finally got to see Mr. Poopy Butthole for the first time.
Yes.
He's just—that's all it is, just a little character.
Yep.
But anyway, I'm excited for season 3, and I'm glad that show got picked up for more. And
The show's fucking amazing. I got onto it like first episode of season 2. Like I was still a little late, but
yeah, I know that doesn't make sense to watch it in order, but I feel like starting from the beginning helps with that show.
yeah, I think so. Just the first episode is one of the best episodes.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into the next portion of our show, and that is we all saw Mission Impossible Fallout. It was Friday this movie came out. We're reviewing it on now Saturday, a day later for us. But what was you guys' first general impressions leaving this movie?
When we were walking out the theater, I just couldn't help but say, God damn, that movie was so good.
Yeah?
It's just so fucking solid. Like, it's what an action movie should be. Like, I hate action movies with a shit ton of CGI. And all of this, I would say 90% of this is practical. and you could totally tell because it's like they threw GoPros all over the place to like keep you in the action.
Sure.
You're just like in there when they're doing all these crazy stunts. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
I think the first thing we talked about, obviously we both said we thought it was awesome, and then it was that the Mission Impossible series as a whole has some of the best action scenes from all action movies.
Yeah, most definitely. I did a rewatch of all of them when Rogue Nation came out.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do that again for this one. I rewatched 4 and 5 before this one came out. And I would think out of all of the movies, this movie is the one that benefits most from seeing all of the previous entries.
Yeah, I could see that.
Just because like there's so many things that stack on top of each other, and I have a list of things, and none of these are spoilery. Like number 5, Rogue Nation, it's a straight continuation of this one.
Sure.
Like it picks up right where that one left off.
That's where you meet Elsa's character too.
Yeah, Elsa and the bad guy.
Solomon Lane.
Solomon Lane, not Killian Dane.
Yeah.
Goddamn. Okay. 4, Ghost Protocol. This one has a couple gadget malfunctions. That's where that came into play. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. 3, of course, the wife. She has a role to play in this.
Yeah,
I don't know
she
if
does.
it's big or small or not, but it's
Yeah.
definitely like in the intro you see her.
Yeah, it's definitely a spoiler.
Yeah. And then there's a ton of lens flares in this too.
Yeah.
And J.J. Abrams brought that to the series. There's even callbacks to 2. Like there's motorcycle stunts again.
Yeah. And there's a reference to 1.
See, I don't know what the 1 is. 1 is the one that I can barely recall. Like I remember it being good, but I don't remember much about it.
There's a reference to 1, and I loved the reference to it.
Is it a spoiler?
It's a spoiler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it later.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
Great.
So when I first left the movie, man, I thought, kind of like what you guys were, I thought this was a really fun ride. I enjoyed a lot of the action set pieces. I'm with you. I'm right with you guys there on the action set pieces. I did think it was a little formulaic. It's only so many twists and turns you can do with a spy movie.
Well, it's the IMF like going rogue again. Like you
Yeah.
can't trust anybody.
Right.
Right.
And this has been done in like all of the movies.
Yeah.
Which has never bothered me.
Yeah, it should, but the movie itself is so good that I just kind of like look past
It's
it.
so minor compared to like the actual main objective
Yeah.
that's going on. So
Yeah, that kind of begs the question for me that is this movie leaning more towards an action movie now, or is it still very much a high-end, high spy movie?
The way they market it, these movies, they market the action set pieces.
Right.
For sure, just because like Tom Cruise does all of his stunts.
Right.
Like he's a fucking crazy person.
Yeah.
There's this skydiving scene that he does himself.
Yeah.
Because he's got the fucking mask on. He wants you to know that he's doing everything. And the main thing that is being promoted is how Tom Cruise injured himself on the set.
Sure.
And you can actually see like some part of that injury actually in the movie, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the main reason why this movie is the most expensive Mission Impossible movie is because he had to not do anything for 8 weeks, and Paramount still had to pay everybody so they wouldn't go to different projects. Because I think the budget for this movie wound up being around $250 million. Originally, it was supposed to be $170. I think insurance covered the majority of that extra like $80 million or whatever.
Sure.
But I think it's ended up being like around 180, which is still like the most
Expensive Mission Impossible yet.
Yeah, exactly.
it doesn't matter. It's gonna make it back.
I think so too. I hope this movie does gangbusters.
This movie brought my parents to go see it. Like
Oh.
they wanted to go see this movie.
Nice.
And they really liked it.
Okay.
But one of the points that my father was making, that he could have swore that every major action sequence had Tom Cruise in it. And if they had a body double, it was very well played, because it looked like he was talking about the motorcycle scene, and it looks like
That's all him.
it looks like Tom Cruise is doing all this.
Because he's not wearing a helmet. Because of course you want to see his face. Like you want
Right.
to know that he's the one or he wants to let you know that he's the one doing this.
Especially on the scenes where he is like braking and turning corners.
Yeah.
He's putting his foot down.
Yeah.
Like it's just all there.
Oh yeah, there's a helicopter scene in this, and
Yeah.
he literally for this movie spent 2,000 hours to get his helicopter license,
Oh,
so
really?
he could fly that for real.
See, that's amazing.
It's crazy. I mean, it doesn't hurt that his next movie is going to be Top Gun 2, so he can have like flight school lessons already. But it made for a really cool stunt in this too.
Yeah.
And they kind of play it up a little bit. We'll talk about it in the spoilers too, but it goes into the plot of this movie. Real quick, let's just kind of go over some of the returning cast here. We have Tom Cruise, obviously, he's back as Ethan Hunt. A new addition to this was Henry Cavill as August Walker. He's we see him in kind of the trailers.
Yeah, we see him like pumping his arms, like
yeah.
cocking them almost to get
Yeah.
ready for a fight.
I love that.
Yeah, well, it's because they make sound effects when he fucking
He's like,
cocks them.
The trailers do a good job of marketing him.
Yeah, I loved his character in this. Like he
Yeah.
just like gave no fucks and just like, I need to get the mission done. I'm gonna bash your face in.
Right. We had the returning cast, which is kind of nice to see these characters keep reoccurring. We had Ving Rhames coming back as Luther.
Ving Rhames is the best he's ever been
Think so?
in any of these movies. Yeah, and he's like the fattest he's ever been, and just like this fucking mass of a man. Like at least in the '90s when he was like first in these movies in '96, he had like a presence. Like he looked like big. He looked built.
Yeah.
And now he looks like a potato.
Well, he's also like
But he's
60.
He's the best.
This,
like
is also a 22-year-old franchise.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which is getting nuts. And
Yeah.
Tom Cruise is finally starting to show it just a little bit with his look in general.
He looks really glossed up in this movie without looking glossed up.
Yeah.
When you see him on like an actual like TV camera,
Yeah.
wrinkles are there, and of course he's fucking 56 years old, so
Right.
he's gonna have to start showing his age. And that's one thing I liked in this movie, to where like he had to catch his breath more. He had to like think strategically as to what to do next. I don't care that he's 56 years old. If he's still able to do these crazy ass stunts, I want him to keep on doing them.
All right, let's continue with our list here. We had Simon Pegg coming back as Benji. He's great. I had a discussion with Danielle after this, and remaining spoiler free, that this movie doesn't really make you like it has snicker laughs, right?
Yeah.
Nothing, and it doesn't need to be funny.
At all, no.
But for pacing reasons, they kind of throw it in there, and I think Benji plays this role for the most part.
Yeah, because he's usually the, I don't know.
I mean, Simon Pegg, he's supposed to be, people think of him as comedy.
Yeah, he's just when he ever, if it's over voice communications or if he's in the field actually doing something, it's just a one-liner he throws in. That's just a
Like,
snicker.
Yeah.
there's one part in this movie to where like he's holding his map upside down.
Yeah.
And that's like funny, I guess.
Yeah, because he's supposed to be a high-tech guy.
Yeah, those are cheap jokes.
Right.
Like that. Like, oh, I had the screen lock on my iPad. Sorry about that.
It's almost like to relieve the tension that is constantly building in this movie.
Yeah.
Like tension breaks. That's why I always feel like when his character comes in.
Yeah, and there was a part in like the first 10 minutes where he's like, oh, we're in a scary alleyway. Aren't you scared at all?
Yeah.
Like that part I didn't like. That part felt forced. Like a lot of the jokes in here feel forced, and a lot of those jokes are from Benji, but he also brings some of the best jokes too. So
That's true.
teach their own.
We had Rebecca Ferguson coming back. I think it's as Elsa Faust.
Thank
And
you.
This is nice because it's one of the returning characters from the last 2 movies now?
No,
Just
just
one.
the last
Just
one.
one.
Rogue Nation, yeah.
Yeah, which I kind of like. Obviously, if you've watched these movies, you get the continuity of all.
Well, she's the best part in 5 because I've never seen her in anything else. I can't recall what else she's been in.
Yeah, and she's solid in this one.
She holds her own against Tom Cruise, which is crazy.
Yeah, because I mean, mostly it's a Tom Cruise show,
Yeah.
but she has a pivotal role in this, and I like the angle they took with her in this movie.
I do too. I hope she's in many more of these movies.
I like how you kind of never really know her motive.
Yeah.
It's always like a guessing game. Mm-hmm. So
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Was Sean Harris as Solomon Lane in Rogue Nation?
He was the main guy. He didn't have a beard in that.
Okay, because I couldn't recall it for remotely. I know they mentioned a syndicate plotline that's kind of flourished in this one, but I could not remember Solomon Lane at all.
This is why it repays to like rewatch the movies before you see like the next one, because
Sure.
like he's really fucked up in Rogue Nation.
yeah,
He's a really good bad guy.
yeah, he is. He's
almost
toned
like-
down in this one, but in the previous one, he's
Well, I mean, in this one, he doesn't have a lot like to do. Like everything's out of his control
Right,
except
right.
for like one main plot
Yeah.
point. But yeah, I mean, he's like the biggest Bond villain that this series has had.
yeah, which is actually fantastic because if you do watch the previous one, all your feelings towards his like badassness
Yeah.
in the 5th one carries over.
Sure does.
So he's always like a threat, even though he's never in his own control.
All right, and just real quick, last few characters. We had Angela Bassett come in as the head of the CIA as Erica Sloan. She has like a nice role to play just for spy thriller, I would call it.
Yeah, she does Angela Bassett. She's
Yeah.
everything you know about her is what she does in this. Nothing more, nothing less.
We had Alec Baldwin returning as kind of I think he was the head of the former CIA in the last one,
He was, yeah.
and now this one he's
The head of IMF, which is weird because that was Jeremy Renner's role in the 5th one in Rogue Nation, and he's just magically gone in this movie.
yeah, and Alec Baldwin took over.
No reason why. Like, when he was introduced in Ghost Protocol, it felt like he was trying to take over for Tom Cruise. Like this was like a good stepping stone to get Tom Cruise out of there and get Jeremy Renner in. And then in the 5th one, he's just like magically the head of IMF, and now he's not even in the 6th one.
Right.
It's weird.
And it's not a spoiler, as Alec Baldwin was promoted in this movie to begin with, but his role's good. He ends up having some scenes in this movie that play out well.
Yeah.
So we'll get to him a little bit later.
Yeah, I liked him way better in Rogue Nation than I do in this movie.
Yeah.
But I'll talk about them more in spoilers.
Sure. And the last 2 characters we'll kind of save for the spoiler section. All right, I think that being said, let's just go ahead and jump into the spoiler section.
Bum 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 bum. Oh God!
Our best spoiler warning yet.
Classic.
That was good. That was a good impromptu beat there, Jake.
I don't know if it was good, but it happened.
Yeah, it sure did. Okay, we have so much to get to in spoilers.
If there was
here.
anybody listening, they're definitely gone now.
That's true. They left. Okay, let's like I said, if you're in here with the spoiler section, we're gonna talk a lot about things here. You can jump to a review section if you want to avoid anything going forward. But first, I just want to flat out ask you guys: as a spy movie, did you like the? Is it okay to call this a twist? The twist in this movie?
What? Which one? There's so many.
So let's talk. The first one I think was the Austin character, Henry.
Okay.
Henry Cavill.
Yes. Was that supposed to be a twist, or was there?
Oh, that was totally supposed to be a twist.
Was
yeah.
it? Okay.
Well, I felt like it was pretty obvious.
That he was the bad guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, especially once they start talking about, like, all right, was that actually Lark, or did Lark send someone in his place? And it's like, okay, this is obviously Henry Cavill's character, especially when he meets with the CIA chick and hands her the phone and basically frames Ethan Hunt's
Hunt.
character. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I just thought. At first, I wanted to think, oh, maybe he's just doing this because he's a suspicious person, or because he's a spy.
Well, because
that's part of the game,
Because just like every other movie in the series, he has gone rogue from time to time.
right?
So like that's very suspicious, and it's weird for a organization in the United States to hire him back again and again.
Right. And yeah, so to me, it kind of was foreshadowing. Wasn't a huge twist, but there's plenty of other twists in this movie that actually played out pretty well.
Well, that one scene with Henry Cavill, where that's the first twist, and then the next twist is that they say that they're going to bring Solomon Lane, not him, but they're going to bring a doppelganger. They're going to bring Simon Pegg dressed as Solomon Lane to the drop-off, but they leave the original guy, Solomon Lane, with Henry Cavill, and they end up not doing that. They end up doing the reverse. That's another twist.
Right.
Like, this scene has 4 twists in 15 minutes. It's crazy. And
Basically
then,
everything in that tunnel.
yeah, because Alec Baldwin is supposedly they're turning on him, and they like shoot him with a gun that like gets him
Knocks
dazed
him
and
out.
confused, knocks him out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then that doesn't happen. That's part of the second twist. And then the third twist is that the CIA knows what's going on with everything. So the CIA like shuts off all the lights, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna bring all of you in." And that's the third twist. And Tom Cruise is like, "Oh, that's okay because everybody's here.
Oh, no.
So we can figure things out."
There's even another twist.
Right
because
after that.
And then the Solomon Lane's minions are part of that crew that are there to
Yeah.
subdue
Yeah.
them.
Henry Cavill just says go.
Yeah.
And there's people inside of the CIA who start shooting people, like shooting other good people, to where like mass hysteria breaks out. So there's 4 twists in like 15 minutes. Yeah. That scene is fucking crazy. And I saw this twice.
Wow.
I saw it on Thursday, and I saw it today on Saturday.
You did see it today.
I did.
Wow.
I was able to squeeze it in, and it's not a tiny movie, but I had some time, thank God, because this movie helps out a lot seeing it a second time, and I'm totally glad that I saw it.
Yeah, I'm
again.
super jealous. I really want to see it again.
Let's talk about one of the new additions to the movie that was definitely a spoiler, and that's Vanessa Kirby as the White Widow, pretty much the arms broker of this movie. As we would just kind of throw us back to the beginning section of the film, this is the daughter of Max, And Max is a huge character in Mission Impossible 1.
Correct.
Who is Max?
In the first Mission Impossible, she was another kind of broker who helped hunt. She wasn't a good person. This is part of I saw in this movie was a continuation of some subtle hints to previous movies that this movie, Fallout, keeps the continuity going.
Yeah.
And definitely Max is only throwback to the first film, but prior you guys were talking about how this movie does a good job of mentioning the other Mission Impossible movies, keeping this continuity going.
Yeah, the director of this one, Christopher McQuarrie, he also did 5. This is the first time that a director's actually come back for a sequel to a Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
First one, Brian De Palma. He was a huge get. Second one, John Woo. He brought his own style to that movie. Third one was the directorial debut of J.J. Abrams, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But he brought lens flare and all of his style to the series, and he's still a producer today.
Yeah.
Fourth one was the directorial debut of Brad Bird, the guy who directed The Incredibles and Iron Giant.
Yeah.
And he brought his own fun, campy shtick to that movie. I remember that movie being my favorite.
That's Ghost Protocol, right?
Ghost Protocol, yeah.
Yeah.
And on a rewatch, it's not, but it has some of my favorite stunts. The movie is very campy, and I don't remember it being that slapsticky, but it is.
Is that the one where he's in Dubai and he climbs the outside of the window?
That's my favorite stunt ever. I remember going to see that in IMAX.
He's got the fancy gloves.
Yeah.
That start to short out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good scene.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my god, so fucking good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then this, I guess Rogue Nation brought a whodunit, and that movie had a whole bunch of twists in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were some awesome scenes in that too, though.
The opera is one of my favorite
Yeah.
Mission Impossible scenes ever.
Now remind me, it was that Rogue Nation that has Simon Pegg in a bomb vest.
Yep.
And it's him and the bad guy sitting in
Which they also relate. They go back to in this movie.
and mention this one.
They bring that up in this one, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that scene is awesome because he destroys the bomb and he memorizes all of the codes in his head. And yeah, he kind of one ups him and
Yeah, I'll bring that back in later.
Okay.
But yeah, this movie does a good job of. I just like there's very few action movies that tie relevance all like this series does.
But no, the thing is, this movie never used to do that. All of them were just their own beasts. And the reason why I give Mission Impossible Fallout as much credit as I do is because it ties every single movie together.
Yeah.
And that's impressive and it's crazy and he didn't need to do that. But Christopher McQuarrie, he came back, but he also wrote the scripts for 5 and 6.
Sure.
And he also wrote one of the best scripts of all time in The Usual Suspects.
Let's go back to Vanessa Kirby real quick.
Yes, we didn't talk enough about her.
No. So she plays this broker deal, and she's very much like a character who's in it for herself, as most brokers are. But she plays such a good pivotal role in
She's like a Bond girl.
She is. There you go, like a good Bond girl.
That's exactly what she is.
Yeah.
Except there's a weird little switch in this movie too, to where she's a CIA informant.
Yeah.
Which that didn't really play to me that well in this movie.
No, I liked it when she was just on her own with her dumbfounded brother.
Yeah, why would they come up with a plan to kill all the cops if she was working for the CIA? That made no sense to me at all.
Yeah.
Unless she was the only informant and they used to be bad people together. I don't really know.
Or maybe only informants and cooperatives for the CIA are just shitbag people.
They might be.
Kill people at rate.
They just might be, yeah.
The next point I want to bring up was we got another tie back to Tom Cruise's was now an ex-wife, because that Rogue Nation did not end with that plot, did it?
No.
The wife wasn't even in
Yeah.
Rogue Nation. The
Oh, she
wife was
wasn't?
the wife was in 3, and then at the very end of Ghost Protocol.
Yes. They touch on 4.
So she wasn't mentioned at all in 5.
No.
No. Because 4, it's just he's standoffish. And she's doing what she's doing, and he's doing what he's doing now.
But they never acknowledged her being an ex-wife until Fallout.
At the end of 4, we find out that, we were told throughout the entire movie that she blew up in an excursion, and Ethan Hunt went to jail because of that, and that's how 4 opens.
Right.
But at the very end, you see that she's alive, but they don't talk. They look at each other from far away, and she sends signals out every once in a while to let him know that that she's okay.
Right.
And then nothing brought up in 5, and in 6 it comes back that yeah, I don't know. It's cool. At the very end, he doesn't even know that they're gonna bump into each other.
Right.
Yeah.
But he always has this reoccurring dream that he's going to put her in danger.
Right.
Right. So that theme, having the ex-wife back into it, brings up the theme that Ethan Hunt is this really caring, compassionate guy. And we get scenes like that with like the French cop. I think it was a French cop. Ethan is trying to do his best to save her life. And
Basically blows his cover by shooting all the guys.
Yep. Is there any of the Mission Impossible movie played up so much compassion that Ethan Hunt has as compared to Fallout?
See, that's the thing, is most of the Mission Impossible movies don't have this type of situation going on.
Like with civilians?
Right.
Well, not even that. Like, I would say in all of the other Mission Impossible movies, Ethan Hunt has not been this sympathetic. Because in one, doesn't like his entire team die within the first like half hour?
Yeah, spoiler.
Yeah, but he's like enraged by that.
Yeah, I know, but like he didn't really do anything to stop it. I don't know if he could have.
I don't know if he could have.
And in 3, I know that a couple of his people die. But in this one, and I don't know if this is just like a building mechanism in his brain or something, but in this one, he says on like 4 or 5 different occasions that he feels guilty if somebody gets hurt and he doesn't want anybody to die. And he's like, oh, I have to do this. I have to step up.
Well, that's how the movie starts, with him and Luther.
Yeah, and that's how it ends again in the helicopter. But yeah, like Luther's about to get shot and he's like, sorry about this. And he shoots him in the vest so he doesn't die.
Right.
Yeah, and then same with Benji. Like Benji's talking when he's got the Solomon Lane mask on. Like, don't you think they're going to go shoot me? And he's like, oh, I wouldn't let that happen.
Right.
Like, he says it all the time in this movie. And I don't think he ever said it in any of the other previous movies.
Well, that, and there's a scene between Luther and, was it Elsa?
Elsa Faust.
Yeah, Elsa Faust. And, like, that's one of the weirdest scenes that stuck out to me in this movie, is because Luther's explaining how compassionate Ethan has become. And there's 2 main women in his life that he cares about. His ex-wife, and it's led to believe is Faust. Is that
right, because he's moved on from his wife, and then he finds a spy chick who's like his equivalent again. And then like he cares about her, but he can't commit to a relationship.
But that just kind of goes to the point that maybe Ethan Hunt with age has become more sympathetic, which would mean I can see that kind of character growth.
Or soft.
That soft too.
You can see it either way.
I like how they didn't mention his girlfriend from the first movie.
Or the second movie.
Oh, yeah.
Remember her? Yeah. Tandy Newton? Yeah. No, I don't know what the fuck happened to her.
Yeah, he calls those flings. I don't know what people he cared about.
Yeah, she was my side piece.
Yeah, exactly. We talked about how much we like these things, but let's go into some of our favorite and maybe least favorite scenes you guys had. Who wants to kick off with their favorite maybe action piece or just scene in general?
Probably my favorite action piece in this movie was the fight in the fucking bathroom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holy shit. There was so much, like,
just everything about that whole thing.
Yeah.
With everything in that of just meeting of the White Widow.
Yeah. Like, first they were just like meeting there, washing their hands, and first Henry Cavill is looking at John Lark in the mirror, like totally giving away everything that they're going to do. Like, okay, we're looking at you literally in the mirror. We're gonna get you. And then this guy is like this fucking Ka McGraw kung fu master. And he just fucking rips open a pipe and uses it and tries to like slit throats and just damages everybody. Like punches Henry Cavill in the face enough to like open up his eyes really wide, and he just like kind of lays down. And that action set piece is amazing because that's where we get like the cocking of the arms.
Yeah.
Which was improv by Henry Cavill, and they kept
really?
it in there. Yeah.
Oh, that's such an amazing scene.
And then Henry Cavill is a dumbass and just like totally takes the computer, smacks it on the guy, and breaks the computer.
Was he a dumbass though, or was that part of his plan?
It might have been. That probably was because I guess his plan was probably to get Solomon Lane. So I don't know if he wanted to break the computer and like make that plan go awry like he did.
That and that if that guy in the bathroom was his proxy, the proxy must have met him because he was Lark.
Yeah.
So
well, we start off with Henry Cavill being a dumbass because in the fucking air in the skydiving scene, he fucking gets hit by a lightning. Like first he shoves Tom Cruise before they even jump, and he's like, "Oh, it's just a little lightning." He pulls his oxygen mask so he can jump out first.
Yeah.
So then Tom Cruise puts the oxygen in, and they both finally get together, and lightning strikes both of them.
I think that's my least favorite scene.
What?
With the
whole skydiving thing?
Him getting shocked by lightning. Like, what does that serve? If it had been
What's it supposed to? What are you talking about? What's it supposed to serve?
Like if he was pretending to be knocked out or something.
No, he was knocked out.
Yeah,
like he should have died.
Yeah, like why that even need to happen? Just to give tension to the skydive scene.
It's just I think
it's building to the final fight because Ethan Hunt saved Henry Cavill in the skydiving scene, and then Henry Cavill didn't shoot Ethan Hunt on the elevator. Like they both had a chance to where they could have taken each other out and they didn't.
That's
and
true.
then it finally builds up to this final showdown on a fucking cliff.
Yeah.
Except that with Henry Cavill in the elevator scene, he's like, I'm not going to kill you. Kind of, yeah, it's still there, but he's like, well, he was not done with you.
Yeah, no,
So I can't kill
No,
him.
he really wanted to, but he's like, no, I can't. My boss says I can't.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still like this is him being a douche. Like, he still wants to kill him, but he can't because he's in it for the money. And Ethan is in it because he's a good guy and saves his dumbass.
Especially later in the helicopter scene where he's just like, why won't you just die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, okay, going back to the bathroom scene. When Henry Cavill threw this guy through a mirror, he was all ragdoll. Like, his arms and legs were just, like, fucking flopping everywhere through that mirror, and it shattered in a million pieces. So fucking cool. And then when they're in the bathroom trying to make the mask, like, this huge group of drunk guys is like, oh, hey, you fucking in there? Can we join? Dur-dur-dur.
I didn't get that, but okay.
That's what they said.
I
in the
know,
subtitles.
but I'm just like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like it was a cool, huge rave scene, which I thought was a really cool setting. I think part of my favorite things about this movie was just the sets they used as part of these action pieces. These action pieces look really cool as they did because of the settings they chose, and I really liked it for that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Brent, was one of your favorite scenes?
Oh, wow. Well, we talked about two of them already. I guess my next one would be the actual heist of Solomon's Lane character.
Yeah.
Like, between how he was imagining it was gonna go with just shooting the cops,
Yep.
and then how they had talked about it and had planned it, and then finally we get to the scene and it goes completely different from both of that. It goes into Tom Cruise and his team are the only ones that actually know what's going to happen, and then it turns into an amazing bike chase where
So cool.
Yeah.
his character Ethan Hunt is on a motorcycle going through Paris.
It's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
And like rewatching it again, this was the scene that impressed me the most out of everything. Just because it's so like critically on point.
Yeah. Well, I remember thinking as it was going on, like, man, this scene's still going.
You know what it reminded me of watching it the second time?
Huh.
The Dark Knight. To where like the Joker or Batman or yeah, the Joker's trying to take that cavalcade. Like he makes a detour and they have to go underneath the bridge and
Yeah.
shit. It reminded me a lot of that.
Yeah, I got that vibe too.
Yeah.
I would say my favorite scene was everything that took place in the tunnel. Just twist after twist after twist, and you thought you knew how it was going to go, and it didn't go. But basically, with Alec Baldwin there and Solomon Lane, the CIA, everything that happens in that tunnel was just. That's what I look for in a spy movie, just twist after twist after twist.
Yeah.
And I like how it all kind of came together. And once you knew where things were going to go from there, the foundation was set for pretty much the last third act of this movie.
Which I like everything in that little hospital base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of that is so good. Especially like when he first meets his wife and they talk, but they can't talk thinking that like they used to be married because her husband's right there and
Right.
they don't want him to get involved. And she says that he's on vacation and he's like, no, I'm actually working. So she knows that like, oh, shit's about to go down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fucking good. And then they hug and he just kind of whispers in her ear like, I'm so sorry. And she's heartbroken, but she can't show it.
Right.
So fucking good. So many layers of emotion in there.
Any least favorite scenes for you guys?
Yes, I have one.
Do you?
Just because the CGI was awful.
What's that?
And it's when the helicopters are already crashed, but one is rolling towards the other one.
Yeah.
That looks so bad.
Did it?
It looks so bad.
I don't remember thinking anything about it.
CGI was atrocious in there. it drove me nuts the first time I saw it. And seeing it again the second time, I'm like, God damn it, this already looks dated.
Huh. Yeah, it didn't really bother me. It just, I noticed that when Ethan Hunt and Henry Cavill are hanging from the rope with the helicopter on the other end of it that's hanging off the cliff,
Yeah.
Ethan Hunt has the rope wrapped around his leg, and the rope is bending. So clearly, there's not an actual helicopter hanging off the end of that. Otherwise, that thing would be super tight.
Yeah.
See,
But that's so minor.
this is like the part of the movie that reminded me the most of Mission Impossible 2 because it's batshit crazy and he's literally hanging off a cliff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
Well,
he did when
and then
2
it's
opened.
Start cliff climbing. Yeah,
Yeah. Henry Cavill gets like all this acid shit on his face, so he turns into like a literal Bond villain.
yeah, Two-Face.
Yeah, or yeah, even like a DC villain or some shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy. when both of the helicopters are stuck inside of like the little cave cavern thing, and Tom Cruise just unbuckles himself to like dive down at Henry Cavill.
Yes.
So fucking good. And then they're both trying to climb up, and then the helicopter that they're in falls down, so everything else falls down like by them. So fucking good. Like my jaw dropped when that shit happened. I hated when the helicopter was rolling towards them, because inside the helicopter they actually got a rig to roll a helicopter. But of course they don't want to get like a real helicopter, I don't know what you call it, the body of a helicopter to roll towards Tom Cruise. They don't want to do that in real life, of course. So that CGI looked horrible. It looked like, you guys don't watch Fast and Furious, but it looked like when in Fast and Furious there was like this oil tanker that was on fire that was going towards a car. Ugh. It looked exactly like that, and the CGI in both of them was horrible.
All right, let's end our spoiler section with this question. And Brent, you alluded to this earlier, but where do you guys expect going forward from this series?
I have no idea. They can literally go anywhere with the way they end this. It's awesome.
Do you think they keep doing movies based off one mission at a time?
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't.
Like each movie we get going forward will just be another mission in Ethan Hunt's ongoing career. Rogue Nation kind of played up that this giant ultimate evil has been taken down.
Yeah.
And this one, Fallout, is kind of the end of Syndicate, essentially. Mm-hmm. But Solomon Lane...
they brought in the Apostles.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, which is pretty much like the Syndicate.
Yeah. And Solomon Lane is wrapped up once again at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
So he's back in custody. He's not dead, so they could keep using him.
Yeah.
But you want to keep using that character because he is supposed to be the bad guy.
They shouldn't go back to him in the next one. But I love this series. I'd be okay if they didn't make another one.
Yeah.
Even though I would love it because Elsa Faust is finally part of the team. And Elsa Faust and Ethan Hunt make a good fucking pair.
Yeah.
And then just match them up with Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg.
I think there's still plenty of twists and turns they can do with this series. But my concern is after Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and now Fallout, I'm in the formulaic stance that everything's always going to end good in these movies, which is fine.
Yeah.
But can I keep enjoying the same ride over and over and over?
I can if it's done as well as this is.
When the ride is this good, I will go on it anytime they make one.
When the action scenes are this amazing? Oh,
yeah, but we also talk about stakes a lot in this show, and the stakes are set here, but do we ever want to see something get paid off or actually be a game changer, something bad really actually happens?
Yeah.
So they kind of teased that in the beginning of this one, but you kind of knew it was a ruse.
See, I didn't. Like, I thought they were really going to start off super bleak by them bombing, like, where the Pope is and Israel. Really? I thought that was real, yeah.
Oh.
I'm like, they totally got fucked, and now it's Fallout, and they have to, like, deal with, like, picking up the pieces.
See, I asked Danielle and Anthony if they picked up on that scene, and they said they didn't. I right from the get-go, as soon as I knew those 3 holy towns were destroyed, I'm like, this isn't real.
See, I didn't think... When I picked up when it was fake was when Tom Cruise was going crazy and actually, like, going towards that bad guy in the hospital bed. I'm like, okay, something's up, because he wouldn't do this ever.
Right.
But yeah, when it was just CNN and Wolf Blitzer talking about all this shit getting bombed, I did not think it was fake then.
Gotcha. I'm just wondering if this series would benefit from a huge turn or something bad actually goes happen. What do you guys think?
I think this series picks up steam the more entries it has, which is very rare in any series.
That's true.
I think it keeps on getting better and better and better. I really do.
I think that kind of leads into now our review section of this show. And before we kind of go into the actual review, let's talk about some opening numbers for this bad boy. Opened on a Friday. This movie opened to 23 million. And now is projected on a course between 50 and 60, which is actually one of the best openings that this series has ever had, if it continues on that route.
It's projected to open at 60 million?
Yeah.
That's it?
That's it.
I feel like it should be way bigger than that.
So just because you guys know I love numbers, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I got numbers for you.
Crunch them.
So opening numbers for the rest of the series, Rogue Nation opened to a weekend of 55 million. Ghost Protocol was 29 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Mission Impossible 3, 47. 2 was 57. And 1 was 45.
You know how much money Tom Cruise made on Mission Impossible 2? That was the first movie that he was a producer on.
What's that?
He made $75 million
What?
because he took numbers off the back end, and it was a huge success.
Wow.
It's fucking crazy.
This movie has a budget, before we talked about earlier, like around 178.
Yeah.
Before some the delays obviously kicked in.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna play our little game and do what we're projecting. But for fun, I'm gonna go over what these movies made total prior to Fallout. So Rogue Nation total was 195 million. Ghost Protocol was 209. 3 was 134. 2 was 215, and 1 was 180.
Surprised one did that well.
They're all pretty similar.
So with that in mind, where do you guys think we're going to end here for opening weekend for Fallout? I'm going to go high here, and high for me is 62 million opening weekend.
That's high.
That's like the pussiest high I've ever heard.
I'm trying to play it within reason.
I think this movie is going to do better than projected.
Okay.
64 million.
Damn it, Jake. You just closed my window.
I wrote it.
Wow. I did 71.
71?
Uh-oh.
That's really high, Brent.
Nah, it's right on.
It's right on. Okay, well, so we'll see how
Well,
Fallout does.
Anthony couldn't join us, but he said 88.
No way in hell. Never goes that high. No.
There's still competition in the box office. I don't think he can pull those kinds of numbers.
I hope it does.
All right, let's go into what the critics are saying about this movie. Fallout on Metacritic is at an 86, and with the users almost on par at 87. But even more impressive, on Rotten Tomatoes, this movie is sitting at a 97%.
Nice.
With the users just slightly lower at 93%. This makes it the best movie of the series so far on Rotten Tomatoes. And actually on Metacritic. Just for fun, though, I'll give you guys the Metacritic scores for all these movies. Mission Impossible 1 was 59 with users at 8.1.
Okay.
That seems just as...
Oh, hang on, let me get through this. Mission Impossible 2 also at 59.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Sounded very familiar.
3 was 66 with a user of 7.9.
3 is probably my second to last movie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ghost Protocol was 73 with a user of 7.9. Rogue Nation was only 75 with users at 7.8. So that means Rogue Nation with the users was the lowest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a thinker. That movie is. So
Yeah.
like, if you only see that movie once, you're lost.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can totally see that.
Like I said, Fallout came in at 86 and 87, so
Okay.
We should rank these.
Metacritic is all over the board.
Once we give our reviews, we'll rank them because I
Okay.
already have a ranking in my head.
Okay,
Yeah.
so do I.
Rotten Tomatoes, Mission Impossible 1 was 63% with users at 71. 2 was 57% with the users at 43. Mission Impossible 3 was 70% with users at 69, almost on par. Ghost Protocol, 93% with the users at 76. So users did not remotely like as much as the critics did with that one. But also, Rogue Nation was also at 93% with users at 87. And like I said, Fallout is at 97 and 93. But that comes back to our own 5-star review. Who would like to kick this off?
I was excited about this movie coming out.
Oh.
It came out on my birthday, and I kept on bragging about this for like months leading up to now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say I'm the biggest Mission Impossible fan in here.
Yeah, that's probably
In the
true.
group. I love it. And when 4 came out, when Ghost Protocol came out, that was my favorite. When Rogue Nation came out, I thought it was my favorite, but I thought Ghost Protocol was my favorite, but rewatching it the past like week, Rogue Nation was my favorite. Going into Fallout, I would say I'll put this out there. I think this is the best action movie to come out since Mad Max Fury Road.
Wow. Okay.
The action in this movie is amazing. If I actually see you do something practically, I'm gonna give you so much more like credit and gravitas than if it's just like a CG. This movie has like it just makes everything that the series has been up until now meshed into a universe that I didn't think was possible. Like all of these movies were just their own thing, but this movie makes all of them into one, and I fucking love it for it. I'm gonna give this a 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
I
Wow.
love it. This one is now officially my favorite one of the series. Yeah, I gave Ghost Protocol a 4. I gave Rogue Nation a 4. This one I'm giving a 4.5 out of 5. I like it a lot, and I'm glad I rewatched it a second time because I thought that the first time, but of course you never know. Going back into it, even though I knew what was coming, I still enjoyed what was happening. And then there were little bits and pieces in this movie that I just either got a chuckle or was like dumbfounded by how awesome it was. Like there's a when everything happens and Tom Cruise saves the day, there's this shot of Ving Rhames and he's just like, my man.
You looked at me like
that's the fucking best. And it shouldn't be good, but it's totally good. Because Ving Rhames in this movie is like all over emotionally. And then he finally has like his time to like give his own little ringer, his own catchphrase, like, oh my man.
Except it's Denzel's.
Yeah, I know it's Denzel, but yeah, it's more, but whatever. Yeah. 4.5 out of 5. This movie is great. See it on the biggest screen that you can.
Yeah.
Sure.
We saw it in XD.
Yeah.
And like, even with the speakers and everything, it makes like your seat rumble and shit. The second time I saw it in a smaller theater, and it's still good, but like it just doesn't
do as much.
Push you over the edge. Exactly.
Yeah.
Brent, what are you thinking?
I'm going to plagiarize. Literally just copy whatever Jake just said and just paste it to mine. That was a really good way to put it. An amazing movie. I will also give it a 4.5.
I'm probably the lowest here then. I enjoyed most of the action set pieces. I think those by themselves stand out really well. But it was still a little too formulaic for me. I get that if it's not broken, don't fix it, which really works with this series. But with since Ghost Protocol, I would say even 3, Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, even this one, all these movies are kind of starting to blend together. I feel like I've seen this movie before. Not saying that's a bad thing, but it didn't do anything new for me, and I was actually kind of hoping that how this tone was set at the beginning of the movie, something different was going to happen, but it never kind of came to fruition. So I'm setting it at a 3.5.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to go 4.
No. It's definitely good. It's just not anything outstanding or great to me.
I'm excited for you to rewatch it
Yeah?
because it's amazing. It's so good.
I forgot to say one of my favorite scenes
Yeah.
was just him running on that like mile-long rooftop.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that he's famous for in these fucking movies now. Like in 3, there's like over a minute straight of him running. No cuts. They just show him running in like the streets of Shanghai or wherever the hell he's at.
Yeah. I think that's one of the greatest things about this series is with most series, when we talk about like the repetition of certain things that they do throughout the movies, we find it annoying.
Yeah.
And this one, I find it enjoyable.
Yeah.
When they just put a little bit of twist on like basically the location and where he's doing the same exact thing. I enjoy it. So
this one, they literally put 2 trackers in, one with Henry Cavill, and he has a head start, but he's walking. And this one has Tom Cruise, and he is sprinting like he always does. And they show him like getting closer and closer, and Simon Pegg's just like, "Oh man, you're almost there! Just keep on going, keep on going!" Like cheering him on as he is just like downward sprinting.
Yeah,
it's the best.
Yeah,
I guess one of the biggest letdowns for me was the tension built from Rogue Nation, from the dinner table scene. Like that was real suspense to me, and like that was like gripping the edge of your seats. Like, how is this going to play out? Because this is just a mind game of who has the better move, like a game of chess.
Sure.
When Simon Peggs is bombed and they're all sitting at that table, and it's just like a very awesome, iconic scene.
It's a really great scene.
I didn't get that same suspense with this movie. Maybe after seeing Rogue Nation, that's how I felt about Fallout. But this is one of my biggest gripes.
Anthony isn't here today.
Oh, it's
but
true.
He was going to give it a 5 out of 5.
Oh, gotcha.
And I want to know his reasoning. So next time he's on, he'll tell us.
Yeah, we'll make him justify.
Well, I mean, in
that
all
5-star
honesty,
rating.
like what brought this down?
What didn't make this a perfect movie?
Like very minor things.
They're very minor. Like I've only given one movie a 5 on this podcast, and I can't like that movie. Hereditary gave it a 5 out of 5.
That's
true.
That's
That's
true.
on a whole nother level for me.
That's fair.
This one is great entertainment, but it does it does the same thing that every other thing in the series is done. Like it does it perfectly. Or it does it to perfection, but it doesn't do it. There's still some things
It doesn't
that I can
come out of right
nitpick.
field.
Yeah.
Yep.
I knew this was going to be good, and it was a little better than what I thought, but it wasn't like above and beyond what I thought.
Sure, that's fair.
Yeah, but before we go, we've got to rank these suckers, John.
Oh yeah, keep
Don't
forgetting that.
outro us
Yeah,
out
I'm
yet.
trying to outro us.
Okay.
Okay, so Jake, you said you have a list already in mind.
I do. It goes 6, 5, 4. I guess it goes Fallout, Rogue Nation, Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible 1,
3,
Mission Impossible 3,
2.
Mission Impossible 2.
That's exactly what my list is.
Okay.
I mean, I probably agree with that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, for me, 4 or 5, 4 and 3, I get mixed up very easily.
I thought 4 was the best for the longest time. And I think it still has some of the best stunts that this whole series has ever had.
Yeah.
It's just way more campy than I remembered it being, and that really took it down for me. Like, there's like this French cop that's chasing them,
Yeah.
and he was like very Pink Panther-y, like way
Sure.
more than I remembered.
Yeah.
But like that prison sequence at the beginning is so great, like the prison breakout
Yeah.
scene,
Yeah, that's true.
and then him in the Dubai Tower.
yeah.
Oh my god,
Although-
it's so fucking good.
1 and 4 might switch, maybe. Because
Okay.
I remember the first time I watched 1, like the whole scene where he's coming down in that room.
That's the best.
And like the suspense through that whole shot is just absurd.
When they were shooting that scene, he kept on hitting his head.
Yeah.
And the way that they stopped that is that they put weights in his feet to where like he wouldn't like get whiplash every time they
Sure.
put him down.
And even to like put the cherry on the top of that scene, like with what Tom Cruise's character is doing, you have the guy in the ventilation that's
Yeah.
holding the rope, and it's
Yeah,
like
the
and then-
sweat bead.
and then the
What's his name? The French actor.
Jean Reno.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah, I really liked him in 1. 1 for me was particularly special because it gave me one of my greatest action sequences ever. And that's when Tom Cruise is exploding and the helicopter's exploding. It pushes Tom Cruise forward like a momentum.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous, but I love it for it.
Yeah.
And his iconic for that movie was red light, green light with the gum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Green light.
See,
Yeah.
that I've only watched that movie once, so that's like my blind spot in this whole franchise. I need to rewatch that one again. I wanted to rewatch all of them before this movie just so I could like give my final census on this whole franchise, but I only watched 4 and 5 again. 3 is the one that I think like if you go into this, you should rewatch 3 again just because that gives like the best thing of Michelle Monaghan, the wife.
Sure.
That gives that relationship, like that's the main relationship that you see in there. And like I remembered it from memory, but I really wanted to rewatch it and just like make sure that everything that I felt that they thought they felt for each other was in Fallout all the way back from 3. And like 3 is my second to last just because Philip Seymour Hoffman is amazing,
Yeah, he is.
but he's only in like 4 scenes of that movie.
Yep.
Just those 4 scenes are amazing. We need to talk, I could talk about this all day. We need to do something else.
It's only a game, so put up a real good fight. I'm gonna be snookering you.
All right, guys, let's jump into the last portion of our show. And Brent is going to take it over with trivia. As with every new trivia we've been doing lately, what are you calling this trivia?
Nacho milk.
Nacho, nacho milk. Nacho, nacho milk.
So I've got 15 questions for you boys, and we're just going to do it collaboratively since there's just 2 of you. And so we'll just see how many you can get right out of 15.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Nacho milk.
Nacho milk.
Nacho, nacho milk.
All right. What are Ethan and his team supposed to retrieve from the American Embassy in Prague? Mission Impossible, the first one.
That's all you, John.
That is the Noct file. The list of agents.
Dun, 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 dun. Correct. The
Yeah.
non-official cover list.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that. 1 out of 1, folks.
Nacho, nacho milk.
All right. Ethan contacts the weapon dealer, Max. About what job? In 1.
Oh, crap. A lot of 1s so far.
I'm okay
I
with that.
will give you 3 clues. Is it job 316, job 318, or
it's
job,
it's
job 314?
It's job 316.
It is Job 314.
Oh,
John.
I should have known that. It's a freaking Bible verse.
Yeah.
Oh, dang it.
Dun,
316 is a Bible verse.
John 3:16.
Yeah.
Job 3:14.
Job.
Job 3:14.
Job.
Yeah. There's a book in the Bible about Job.
The book of Job.
Nacho, Nacho Bill.
All right. Question number 3. What does the government frame for drug trafficking to try and get Ethan to turn himself in? This is from number 1.
What? This escapes me. I have no idea.
Good.
Dun,
His-
dun, 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 dun,
His
dun,
mother and
dun,
father.
dun, 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 dun. Incorrect. It is mom and uncle.
Oh boy, we got it wrong.
Nacho, Nacho Bill.
All right, this one's easy. Here we go. What does Ethan use to blow up the helicopter in the tunnel in the first episode or the first movie?
The
His
gum.
The gum, the chewing gum. Correct.
Is all this based off one?
No.
Nacho, Nacho Bill.
In Mission Impossible 2,
Oh no.
what is the name of the bioweapon that was stolen?
Fuck. Do you have a multiple choice?
I do, but it's gonna give it away. So let me see if you can get
That's
it.
what it should be. It's some type of biblical reference.
Is it?
I think so. Multiple choice.
Okay. Was it called Venom? Was it called Gorgon? Or Chimera?
I think it's Chimera.
Chimera?
Pretty sure.
Okay.
It's not Gorgon. Jesus.
It is Chimera.
Nice.
Okay,
Nice.
so not biblical at all.
All right, so you're 3 and 2.
Nacho, Nacho Bill.
Number 6. Ethan chose 2 of his team, but Naya was forced onto him for her skills as what in number 2? Was it a thief, a hacker, or a scientist?
I would guess a thief.
I would say thief too.
Thief? Correct.
Nice.
Da, da, da.
All these plot holes are falling through.
Nacho, Nacho Bill.
All right, back to number 2, the garbage. The bioweapon causes death by mass destruction of the victim's what?
Colon.
Vicious shitting of themselves.
See, I thought it was lungs. Like their lungs can't breathe
Was
anymore.
it the nervous system,
Oh.
the blood vessels,
Uh-oh.
or red blood cells?
Oh, fuck me.
I'm gonna say cells because wasn't like hers decomposing.
I'm going to guess in 2000 they used really shitty CGI to show you the red blood cells.
That's what I'm gonna guess too.
Yeah.
You are correct.
It seems-
Well done.
Seems that bad.
Every time I get one right, I'm going to do the Henry Cavill.
Nacho, Nacho Bill.
All right, one last one for the garbage movie. Where was the villain going to release the bioweapon? In what country? Was it Australia? Was it
No.
Russia?
Maybe.
Or was it France?
Probably
Bonjour.
France. I'd probably go France.
France seems more populated.
Yeah.
France.
No,
Russia?
wee. It is Australia.
Oh,
Why would Australia? It's an island.
Don't know. That's
What?
stupid.
How do you not remember that?
I don't.
The whole last scene's like outback-ish looking.
Is it?
Yeah, it's on like the coast of Australia, and
Oh.
I just remember her standing on the cliff going, I'm dying.
I want to be with the narwhals.
Nacho, Nacho Bill.
All right. In Mission Impossible 3, Hunt goes after an arms dealer named Theodore Brassel,
No.
Owen Davian, or Declan Gormley.
2.
Declan Gormy.
Declan? Maybe Declan.
Declan Gormy.
I'm trying to announce football player names here. Sorry.
I want to say B.
It is, yes. It
Okay.
is Owen Davian.
What's that make us now?
All right. So you guys are, let's see, 6 and 3.
Nacho, Nacho Bill.
Who approaches Ethan about a rescue mission for one of Hunt's proteges in Mission Impossible 3 at the beginning of the movie?
I have no idea.
Was it Zen Lei, Luther Stickle, or John Musgrave?
These are terrible names.
Yes.
John Musgrave is the guy who's a double agent. I'm going to say him.
John Musgrave?
Yeah. I think.
Correct.
Nice, nice.
Well done.
Nacho, Nacho Bill.
The last one for number 3. What does the villain want Ethan to acquire for him?
Rabbit's foot.
Rabbit's foot is correct.
Nice.
That's the biggest MacGuffin I've
Yeah.
ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
Because they never show you what it does. You just need to get the rabbit's foot.
Nacho Milk.
Number 12. In Ghost Protocol, what is the name of the assassin who kills Agent Hanaway? Is it Anatoly Sidorov,
No.
Bogdan,
No.
or Sabine Moret?
Yeah, I would say C. It's that chick with blonde hair. I don't remember her name. Yeah, more. Sure.
Correct.
Okay.
Nice. I have no idea.
Nacho Milk.
All right, we're getting down there. What is Cobalt's real name in Ghost Protocol? Is it Kurt Hendricks, William Brandt, or James Carter?
That was B.
William Brent.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
William Brandt?
Yeah.
Incorrect. It is Kurt Hendricks.
Damn it.
Kurt Hendricks. I'm sorry. One thing I participated.
It's all right. It's all right.
Nacho Milk.
All right, question number 14. Where is Ethan Hunt imprisoned in the beginning of Ghost Protocol?
Fuck.
All right, was it Beijing, Dubai, or Moscow?
Beijing? Because they were in Moscow for the Kremlin, and they were in Dubai at a later place. I'm going to say, yeah.
Beijing?
Yeah.
It is Moscow.
Fuck. So they were in... Fuck.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Nacho Milk.
All right, final question. Finish it. Where does Ethan's team reconvene to accept their next mission at the end of Ghost Protocol? What city?
City?
City.
They were like eating at a bar, like at a fishing
Was
dock.
it San Francisco?
Probably.
Was it Seattle
No, God.
or Langley?
God damn it.
Langley.
Dun, dun, dun,
Langley's
dun,
the
dun,
name of
dun,
the
dun,
person.
dun, 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 dun.
Fuck. It might be Seattle because it's like dark and gray and grimy.
Gooby.
Let's go Seattle. Final answer.
You got it.
Okay.
Seattle.
Nice.
Well done.
So what'd that put the total at?
10 to 15.
10
I'll
to
take
15.
it.
Well done.
I will take that.
But that was Brent's Nacho Milk.
Nacho milk.
Nacho milk.
Nacho Milk. Nacho Milk.
All right, that's been episode 53 of Super Mini All Stars. You can find us on all kinds of social media. The first one being Facebook at Super Mini All Stars. Please like and follow us there. You can find us on Twitter at SMAS Pod. You can find us on Instagram at Super Media All Stars.
You can find me on Instagram at Steelbook Obsessed. I just started this thing on my story where I have a tournament.
Nice.
And this time I did it with comedies. Like you vote for what movie you think is the best comedy of all time. I tally the votes and I put brackets like number 1 versus number 16, and we're gonna see who wins. It's been a fun experiment so far.
You can check out So Many All Stars on all kinds of podcast services. Be sure to check us out on Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, all that good stuff. Also, check us out on YouTube. Be sure to like and follow us there. Check out all our content. We have unboxing videos, episodes. Jake does some in real life stuff, so check all that stuff out.
Yeah.
The thing.
Well, we should be getting more unboxing videos up because not only is like my basement finally like refinished, so I can get my game room back together to get like a set to film on, but John actually just got his own place.
Yes.
So we might have 2 locations to film at, which could be kind of fun.
Yeah, it's right now I'm in transit right now, but things will be we'll fun to see what we can do next.
We have a stockpile of stuff we want to unbox. So
Yeah.
like once we actually get a place set, we will be unloading those bad boys.
Yeah, so I'm stoked for that. Mm-hmm. But guys, I thank you for joining me. Audience for listening. We'll see you next time.
My man.
Nacho milk.
Game over, man. Game over.
Bye bye.
I am out of here.